Is it a little hole? Is it a big hole? What kind of feature is it down there? There's a whole lot of questions you get when you find this one spectacular reading.
At the bottom of the Puerto Rico Trench, thousands of feet beneath the surface where sunlight vanishes and pressure could crush most known life, a recent deep-sea expedition made a discovery that has stunned the scientific world. The Puerto Rico Trench, already notorious as the deepest part of the Atlantic Ocean and one of the least explored regions on the planet, revealed something that defies conventional understanding of biology, technology, and perhaps even time itself. What they captured down there, hidden beneath the crushing weight of the sea, was not just unexpected, it was mind-blowing. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. It began with an autonomous deep-diving submersible designed to map the trench floor with unprecedented resolution. As the vehicle descended past 27,000 feet, it encountered a series of unusual readings: abnormal electromagnetic pulses, sporadic temperature fluctuations in an otherwise thermally stable environment, and unidentifiable echo returns on sonar. Initially dismissed as mechanical interference or sensor anomalies, these phenomena quickly escalated when the onboard high-definition cameras transmitted images to the surface team that sent shockwaves through the entire mission control. There, nestled in a deep crevice on the trench wall, was a structure, clearly artificial, jutting out of the rock face. Not shaped like any natural formation or wreckage, its contours were too symmetrical, too intentional. Made of a reflective, unknown material that shimmered despite the pitch-black surroundings, the object was partially buried but distinctly geometric, resembling a polygonal dome or half-submerged pyramid with surface etchings unlike anything seen before. The structure seemed to pulse faintly, almost as if it responded to the vehicle's proximity. Immediately, the submersible redirected its mission to investigate further. As it drew closer, the cameras caught a phenomenon no one could explain. The structure emitted a low-frequency hum that caused temporary malfunctions in nearby sensors. The electromagnetic interference wasn't chaotic. It had patterns, almost like a language. Some speculated that it was signaling. Others argued it was shielding itself. But what none could deny was that this structure was not human-made, at least not by any known civilization, and it had not been there when the trench was last mapped just a decade prior. Using robotic arms, the vehicle extracted a fragment of the material from the surrounding sediment. The moment it touched the fragment, a shockwave rippled outward, detected by hydrophones hundreds of miles away. Though subtle, this release of energy was deliberate, almost as if the object had a dormant defense mechanism now awakened by contact. The submersible, though unaffected in function, recorded a dramatic shift in the surrounding water density, temperature, and acoustic properties, creating an almost dome-like bubble in the water column, as if reality itself were bending in that localized space. As the surface team processed the footage, they noticed something else in the background. Movement, not geological shifts or water currents, but a deliberate mechanical motion deeper within the trench wall behind the structure. Cameras pivoted, light beams scanned, and then it became undeniable. A massive aperture, slowly closing, partially hidden by sediment and the deep-sea gloom. It appeared to be a doorway, one that had been opened. The implications were staggering. If this structure was an entrance, what was beyond it? And more importantly, had something just come out of it? In the ensuing moments, the cameras picked up small, luminescent organisms darting erratically through the water. These were not the typical deep-sea bioluminescent creatures. They emitted light in spectrums not normally visible and left faint trails that lingered like afterimages. When slowed down, their movement patterns mimicked flocking behavior but with startling synchronization, reacting to the submersible's presence with what looked eerily like curiosity, or worse, coordination. Back at the research ship, real-time analysis of the material fragment revealed it wasn't composed of any known Earth elements. Its molecular structure was hyperdense, interlaced with microscopic lattice work that defied traditional material science. The lattice absorbed energy and re-emitted it in controlled bursts, making the object not only a passive artifact, but potentially a functional piece of unknown technology, a power source, a communication device, or something else entirely. The tension on board the ship mounted when the submersible's cameras caught yet another anomaly. At a distance of nearly 200 meters from the structure, nestled in a secondary trench fold, was a field, rows and rows of tall, slender spires protruding from the ocean floor. They were uniform in height, perfectly aligned, and emitted faint pulses in unison, each pulse synchronized with the humming from the main structure. The readings became more erratic, more intense. Something was building. The crew faced a choice: retreat or continue. They chose to continue. As the submersible drifted closer to the spire field, one of the spires emitted a focused beam directly at the sub's external hull. Not a weaponized attack, but a scan, rapid and intelligent. The submersible's systems began compiling massive amounts of data not from its own sensors, but directly from the scan itself. The beam was transmitting data to the submersible, streaming it in the form of dense code embedded in fluctuations of electromagnetic radiation. It was a message. Unable to decipher it immediately, the crew could only speculate. But one fact was clear. Something had detected them, recognized their technology, and responded. Whether this was a greeting or a warning remained to be seen. And yet, the moment that data stream began, something even more dramatic happened. The trench began to change. Sonar revealed massive tectonic shifts, not earthquakes, but deliberate structural transformations. The trench wall near the structure began retracting, revealing a labyrinthine network of tunnels and chambers. From within these passageways came a low, persistent resonance, beyond hearing but felt in the body, like a drumbeat in the chest. It wasn't just alive, it was orchestrated. The trench was waking up. As the exploration continued, the submersible passed through the narrow opening of one chamber. Inside was something previously thought impossible, a perfectly preserved environment with breathable atmosphere pockets encased in energy fields. Floating inside this void was a sphere, hovering motionless, rotating slowly. Its surface was neither metallic nor organic, but something in between, constantly shifting in texture and color, as if it were aware of being watched. The moment the submersible approached, the sphere reacted. The water around it formed perfect vortices, spinning but contained, defying physics. Every instrument on the sub went haywire, but the cameras continued to transmit. The sphere began to project three-dimensional holographic images in the water, scenes from other worlds, foreign star systems, geometric configurations that bent in on themselves, and depictions of Earth, but not the Earth as it is now. Rather, Earth as it was millions of years ago, seen from orbit. These projections were not only real-time displays, but appeared to be part of an archival system. Some on board believed this sphere was a recorder, an alien black box, documenting not only interstellar events, but Earth's own long-forgotten history. The timelines implied within the data defied everything we believed about our planet's age and its interactions with intelligent life. Still suspended in disbelief, the team was confronted with one final image of humans, not contemporary people, but ancient figures etched in the style of early Homo sapiens, walking side by side with tall, lithe beings whose features were obscured by light. The implication was impossible to ignore. If these images were historical records, it meant intelligent contact had been made long before any modern civilization could record it. And then, as abruptly as it all began, the trench started to shut itself again. The structure's pulse grew dim, the doorway sealed, and the spires ceased their synchronized beaconing. It was as if the entire trench had finished communicating what it intended. The sphere vanished into the wall of the chamber with a burst of light, and the surrounding tunnels collapsed gently, sealing themselves without debris, as if no disturbance had ever occurred. The anomaly was disappearing. With barely enough time to retreat, the submersible disengaged, pulling back from the collapsing environment just in time to escape with the artifact fragment and several terabytes of sensor data. The trench quieted. The pressure returned to normal. The electromagnetic pulses faded. But the data, what was captured in that short window, had already changed everything. The implications were staggering. The structure beneath the Puerto Rico Trench wasn't just an archaeological find. It was an intelligent construct, possibly a monitoring station, a gateway, or an archive left behind either by non-human entities or an ancient Earth civilization far beyond our current understanding. The sphere and the imagery it displayed strongly suggested interstellar knowledge, a grasp of quantum data transmission, and a view of Earth as part of a much larger galactic network. And the message encoded in the data stream still hasn't been fully decrypted. What is known is that it contains not only star maps and molecular structures, but also mathematical constants altered by variables that no current human theory can explain. It hints at energy systems untapped, physics unmastered, and even biological processes unseen in earthbound life. The trench didn't just hold the deep, it held a secret, one that had been waiting perhaps for centuries to be found. Or maybe it had been watching, calculating the right time to reveal itself. One thing is certain, this was not a random discovery. It was an invitation, or worse, a test. For centuries, humanity has looked to the stars to find signs of intelligent life. But what if the signs were always here, beneath our oceans, waiting in silence and shadow? The Puerto Rico Trench may have been just the beginning, because whatever they captured down there wasn't just a relic, it was a signal. And now that it's been received, the world will never be the same. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on what they found in the Puerto Rico Trench? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.